Yeah, it looks like it is. Okay, so welcome back to another round of ALR. This is tier 2 of the GT7 League. We are on round 6 out of 8. Let me just get the standings up from last week. Yeah, so we had Zico in first, DB Elite in second, and the Dude third. DB Elite couldn't make it today, so he is at risk of losing his position in the top 3. But yeah, let's go through the grid. So at the bottom, we've got Peaky, who's making his second appearance. So he struggled a little bit last week, especially in the feature, I think, DNF'd. So he'll be looking to get his first points in ALR today. Then we got Kanata in P13 in the Vantage. Struggled all season in the Vantage, hasn't he? Obviously not agreeing with the car too much. Then we got Ian down in P12, so quite out of position for Ian. He's usually a lot higher on the grid. He's P8 in the championship. We got Krilla in 11th, which is where he's been kind of racing all season. So he'll be looking to improve that and get some top 10s, which he hasn't had many of. I think he's got 4 top 10s in total so far. Then in 10th place is Simon. Can't even find. Oh, he's not even in the top 10 of the standings either. He's 12th in the standings in this Toyota GR Supra. Then we've got Tapos in P9. Obviously was a tier 1 driver last year. We'll be looking to build on some decent results in Interlagos. Boy in P8. He's won a couple of races in the Mazda. And his teammate Arfaxad in P7. We've got Perry in P6 in the McLaren, the only McLaren on the grid for most of the season, unfortunately. Andy Winters qualifying well again in P5 there. And then we got the championship contenders, really. The top 4 of the top 5 of the championship are in the top 4 here. So we've got the Dude in P3, Jill in P2, who won last week, I think. Ben in P2. Oh, he isn't one of the top ones. He was 7th in the championship, by looks of things. And then Zico is in P1, another pole position. So this will be his, I think, 5th pole position. He's only failed to get pole in Alsace, and I think he was 2nd there. So definitely the qualifying king. I've just pressed exit. The qualifying king of Tier 2. Let's just get everything up and running again. Right, let's get started. So we've got 5 lights on around the road of Atlanta. It looks like Ben might have false started there. He definitely did. He's going to fall back multiple places, and he's been spun into the wall. Let's rewind that and watch on board with him. And he goes way too early. Then the game stops him, and yeah, he couldn't. That's just sad. But anyway, Zico is leading into just ahead of Gilles. He's got the inside line for the corner, and he's going to get that position. Looks like everyone else has made it round turn 1 without going onto the grass, which is a feat in of itself. And then we've got Andy Winters and the Dude fighting a lot here. Dude's going to have the inside line for this next corner. We've got the RX Vision right behind, really close by as well. Andy's on the grass, and it looks like they all made it. That's amazing. Andy gets a little bump draft there from Arfik's side. Which allows Turbo Boy to pull alongside his teammate as they go down into double right-hander. I think Turbo Boy might have enough to get the move done as well. Yeah, Arfaxad backs out. Oh, but Turbo Boy goes wide and opens the door for Arfaxad to cut back in. And Arfax is going to get that position back. But we've got a big long straight, and Tapos is going to try and take advantage of this. He doesn't have any slipstream though, so I have a feeling the Mazdas are going to start to drive away from him. He's got a bit of slipstream now, as the 2 Mazdas are side by side once again into the next corner. And looks like they're all back out of it, and Arfax keeps his P5 for now. So Turbo Boy couldn't do enough coming out of that corner. It looks like Tapos has a little run on Turbo Boy. And Simon's there as well. Good start for Simon, up into P8. Perry up into P9, and Peaky, who started last, is up into P10. And Ben's a long way back. So the gap is probably around about a second right now between Zico and Gilles. So a good opening lap for Zico. He's managed to avoid any dramas. And then the dude is a little bit further back, but he's managing to drop Andy Winters a little bit here. So looks like it's going to be a good sprint for the Genesis boys in P2 and P4. Tapos still all over the back of Turbo Boy. He's going to try and move around the outside into this corner. Turbo's struggling to hit the apex again, but they both make it round. And a great little bit of traction on exit there from Tapos. He's got the position, but he's going to have to go defensive on the straight here. And he's not, he's opening the door a little bit. Turbo Boy's going to go down the inside for the next corner. He's got it already, unless Tapos is brave on the brakes, but he doesn't decide to do anything there. The cars behind are closing in as well, including Perry now, who's coursed up to the back of this. He's got a little run on Simon, who went a bit sideways out of the corner and lost a bit of speed there. But Simon's done enough to fend him off. And then a little bit further back, the battle for P10 is between Peaky and Kriller right now. Oh, Simon's gone off. Let's see what happened to him. So obviously he had this little run, and he had a bit of pressure from Perry. Goes a little bit wide into turn 1, and that was probably a mistake due to the pressure, I reckon. And he drops outside the top 10. So that pro is Peaky up into P9, so pretty decent for Peaky there. On for his first points in the race, if he can keep this up for another 12 minutes. Now Tapos is still challenging Turbo Boy. Tapos having lots of pace advantage over Turbo Boy right now. He's going to get a better exit. Perry's getting a little bump draft there from Peaky, who's caught up to this group now as well. Peaky, I'm pretty sure, yeah, he's in the BRZ. Oh wow, 3 wide into the chicane. Make that 4 wide. Peaky backs out of it. Actually gets a double overtake done. Absolutely fantastic move there for Peaky. The other two made mistakes. Perry's followed through into the top 10. He's in 9th now. Turbo Boy unfortunately down to 10th. Tapos, that is, sorry. I don't know, where is Turbo Boy? Turbo Boy kept P6 though, so that's really backfired for Tapos. Let's have another look at what happened to him. So he's in P6 right here, challenging Arpixad. Then he's got Perry right behind him. Perry's going to pull alongside as well. And this is what happens when you've got a car that just can't compete in terms of the engine. And then Tapos gets overtaken by Kriller as well, who actually gets a double overtake done on the exit there. So Tapos goes from P6 to P10 in the space of a couple of seconds. And he's under pressure now from Elian, who might get into the top 10. No, it couldn't be done. Let's have a little look at these 3, because they're very close together. Dodgy corner there from Perry. Opens the door once again for Tapos to try and get a move. So it looks like Tapos has some good pace around here. It's just he was really let down on the straight, and then just came out as the worst off in that huge battle for P6. Now this might be... Oh, Perry goes wide at the corner. That's going to lose all of his momentum, and Tapos, I don't know if there was a little bit of bump drafting there going on, but he couldn't get alongside Perry. He's got to duck back into the slipstream. You can see Turbo Boy at the front of this pack's already gone defensive. There's going to be a move here though between Peaky and Kriller, and Kriller's going for it, and he backs out, and Peaky gets the corner. All very close to each other now, these 4. This is allowing Turbo Boy to pull away a little bit. We've actually missed an overtake for the lead, so let's see what happened. Oh, there's a 2-second penalty for Zico. And that is going to bump him behind Gilles, I suppose. Maybe it'll be too much for the dude as well. Look at Gilles just driving away there. Dude is approaching incredibly quickly as well, as Zico's trying to get back up to speed. He has to go defensive for the corner, his car's going that slow. Dude's going to try and move around the outside. He gets a little bump, he might have turned in a little bit too early there, and he's lost his momentum on Zico. Okay, let's go back to where we were. So we had Turbo Boy in P6, Peaky in P6 going very wide there. He's got a bit of a gap to Perry behind him. Let's see if he gets a penalty. I think he got away with it without getting a penalty. He must have lifted once he went a little bit wide there. Then we've got Perry, who's at the front of this battle now, which is basically the rest of the field because Ben's caught up to this pack as well. Got Lewis, Tapos still all over the back of Krilla. So they're coming down to the not the hairpin, the chicane. Elian's going to have a run on Tapos here into turn 1. Yes, back out of it. It looked like he almost went into the back of him, but I think it was Tapos braking earlier and not as heavy as Ian did for turn 1. You can see Tapos taking so much more speed through this sector, but he can't take advantage of it because there's a car blocking his way. Try and move around the outside. Krilla's compromised into the turn-in for this corner. And it's like Tapos might get away with it, but Krilla's gonna... yeah. Oh, bit of a messy one there. Oh, and it's all going off. Right, let's rewind and see what happened. Let's go on Elian's point of view, because he was the one who overtook these two. Battling through the first of the two right-handers. And then more... cool, that was a bit dodgy from Krill. And then he gets killed by Elian, but Elian also kills himself. And that means there's a huge battle for P9 going on. So everyone was out of position. Tapos is all the way down into 12th now. He's just been muscled down numerous positions down this straight. But it's a three-way battle into the hairpin. Not hairpin. Can't believe I keep calling it that. Kanata looks like he's lost a position to his teammate there, and now Ben and Simon are still battling, going around the final corners of the track. And Simon's worked his way up into P9 and Ben into P10 in all of that. So unlucky for Tapos, he just keeps going backwards. Krilla's gone all the way backwards, as has Ian. In the front, Gilles still has a huge lead over Zico, who's struggling to even see Gilles in his mirrors. Dude's still hanging on to the back of these as well, doing really well, and Andy Winter's in a solid P4. Then there's a bit of a gap back to Arfixad. Turbo Boy's just been on his own since he managed to shake that group behind him. Peaky all the way up into P7 now, doing really well in one of his very first outings in ALR. But he's getting chased by Perry now. They both have pretty similar tyre wear, so usually in the end of the race we see McLarens moving forward. Might not happen with Peaky also having a car with great tyre wear. There's a big gap to Simon, who's now in the lead of this group of cars. Tapos still on the back of Peugeot, but this time it's Ben. Finish lap 7 with 9.5 minutes into the 15-minute race now. Fastest lap at the moment goes to Zico, who was 9/10 faster than the lap that Tapos just set, which was his fastest lap as well. machine. I wonder what the mystery is for today's race. I haven't seen a mystery yet. Perry can take advantage going onto the straight. Well, I don't think so because Peaky took that corner much more clean than Perry did there. Looks like Andy's actually starting to catch the dude a little bit. But look at his tyres, his front left is almost completely gone, so the rest of the race might be a little struggle for Andy. What about his teammate? His teammate's tyres are in much better condition. So Shield not using as much life in these tyres compared to his teammate. He looks like he's started to reel in Peaky a little bit, so let's watch this battle. As they go through the downhill twisty section of Sector 1. Excuse me. And again, Perry's really struggling on that second right-hander before the straight compared to the other cars. You can see the other cars are just taking it a lot more smoothly, and Perry's struggling to hit the apex and losing a bit of traction on the exit as well. Simon's still heading off. Actually, he's lost that position to Ben. I was going to say, and he's heading off Tapos now. It looks like Kanata's dropped off the back of this group a little bit. And we've got a big gap to Krilla and Elliot right at the back of the grid. So they'll have a good opportunity in the sprint, in the feature, sorry. They'll be both at the very front. With two Astons potentially causing some delays for the cars ahead. Perry all over the back of Peaky again. If he can nail this second right-hander, I think he'll be able to get Peaky, but he has to nail every corner up to that as well. Oh, Peaky's gone wide. That is, oh, and he goes a bit defensive there. I think that incident got reported to the stewards. The battle continues. Yeah, Perry definitely had a run, but he tried to squeeze in the inside and maybe there wasn't enough room there. But he's got a run again now, and he might be able to take Peaky here. Peaky tried to play the dummy, but he did leave enough space on the inside there for Perry. A bit of lag puts Peaky back ahead again. But I think Perry's got just about enough to get that position. Very aggressive racing there, but nothing too over the line in my opinion. And Perry gets the position anyway. That's P8 for Peaky now, which is still going to be his best result in ALR. Got Ben and Simon both closing the gap a little bit because they've been fighting. Tapos still all over the back of the car in front. He just hasn't had clear air all race, which is probably why his fastest lap's only an 18.3. Simon's is an 18.6, so neither of them getting too many clean laps in, and now the tyres are dead, so they're not going to be setting the fastest times of the race on this go round. Oh, Simon opens the door. Is Tapos going to be able to dive down there? He backs out of it. But he does hit the apex, which Simon wasn't able to do. And that's going to let him get alongside for the second half of the corner. And that is a great overtake. But now he's got to make sure Simon can't get past again. So that's the risk when you do an overtake there. But that's the only place that Tapos could, because he hasn't got the straight line speed. So Simon's going to try and duck down the inside. Tapos going a little bit aggressive there. And Simon couldn't do anything about it that time. But Tapos goes wide into the first part of the chicane. And Simon, nearly loses it. Manages to rescue it at the last second. But that's going to allow Kanata to sweep past potentially. Is he going to be able to? He sticks it, but Simon's got the inside for turn 1. This is the trickiest corner to do an overtake Webb and have both cars make it out alive. But they both do it, and Simon keeps P11 for now. It is the final lap, which means that Ian is the only one who doesn't take the final lap. So, bad sprint for Ian. We got Gilles coming down the straight for the final time. So let's stick with him, give him a few moments of glory as he completes what will be his victory lap. Everyone tipped Gilles to win this tier at the start of the season, and he's not first. I think he's third at the moment, maybe fourth. But this will do his championship standings a whole lot of good as he rounds the corner, wins in Atlanta. Zico is going to take P2 and extend his championship lead with a really solid drive. Dude in P3, another podium for the dude. And Andy P4 just ahead of Arfixad and Turbo Boy, so a good result for the Gens and the Mazdas here. Then we got Perry in P7, Peaky chased him down at P8, then a little bit further down, Ben managed to recover greatly from last on the first lap to P9, Tapos takes 10th, then out of the points are Simon and Kanata, and finally it will be Krilla in the other Peugeot, who we saw had a bit of an issue after racing in the top 10 earlier in the race. So that's it for the sprint. Solid result for Zico. He started on pole, finished second. Quite a distant second in the end, actually. But with the dude, his closest challenger now, he has extended his championship lead even further. If Zico can get back on the podium again in this feature, he'll probably be in a decent position to win the championship in Spa, unless he has an absolute nightmare there. Will be quite a different track, Spa. It's a high-speed track. It's a very long track as well, and it can rain, so there's a lot of things that could go wrong. So it doesn't look like great weather here. Oh no. Well, it didn't in the sky, but it looks fine there. Let's see if anyone has opted for the softs. Yep, Krilla has opted for the softs, but Elian hasn't. So Krilla will want to get past Elian in the opening lap or two and be able to build a gap to all the medium runners in order for his strategy to work. Tapos also starting on softs. That's a big risk from P5. But maybe he feels like he needs to be on a faster tyre if he's going to get past some of these guys. It could work. Ben, everyone else looks like they'll be on mediums for the race. So let's ride on board with Elian like this and see how he does in the run down to turn 1. Klaxon sounds and we begin our first lap of the 40-minute feature race. Looks like a fairly decent start for Elian in his Nissan there. He's not going to have any trouble into turn 1. Looks like Simon's already battling with Kanata there. Tapos was defending a little bit from Ben, but remember he's on the softs, so he should be able to pick his way through a little bit easier. Same with Krilla, but Tapos putting Simon under a lot of pressure there. Simon makes a mistake and goes very wide at the corner. That's going to drop him behind Tapos and Ben. Turbo Boy might come charging past now as well. Takes P6 already for Turbo Boy. How did Turbo Boy get so far ahead? Let's rewind on board with Turbo Boy at the start. So he's on the downhill bit at the start, which does give you an advantage. Gives you a little extra boost. Perry loses traction before the race even starts, and that's going to allow Turbo Boy to get alongside. And he's going to try and get Peaky here by the looks of it as well, and he does. So he makes up 2 positions in turn 1. Oh, a bit of a 1-second penalty there for Andy, it looked like. And now Turbo Boy's already gapped the cars behind who are still battling. So we're going to see what happens in front. Simon goes wide as well, and Turbo Boy just says, "Thank you very much, I'm going to take that." Tapos ahead, going very defensive. Turbo Boy nearly collects Ben there. Oh, it looks like Ben has a great chance of snatching P4 from Tapos, which would absolutely ruin his soft stint if that happens. Peugeot got fairly decent one-lap pace, top speed as well, but he couldn't get alongside. And as we do that, it looks like we've had a change around for the lead. Looks like Krilla and Elian. Oh, Elian goes into the gravel there, loses 2 positions, all of his speed as well. And that is great news for Krill. He's at the front and can put in some solid laps now. Elian's under pressure from Tapos, the only other car on soft tyres apart from Krilla. He's going to try it. Well, Elian can't hit the apex there, so he's still a little bit out of position. Tapos couldn't do it there though, he's going to have to be patient. Huge snake of cars. Oh, Elian loses traction and Tapos has got him. Looks like Ben's going to get him as well, so absolutely horrific half of a lap for Elian. He's down from P1 to P5 in probably less than a minute there. Ben goes a little bit wide on corner exit. So great start for Tapos, because the only medium car left ahead of him is his teammate. So once he catches up to his teammate, I have a feeling it's going to be a fairly straightforward switch for the lead there. As we've got Ian trying to make a move back on Ben. Ben's got the inside for the corner. He's going to take it. This is where Elian went off in lap 1. Oh, they do come together, and Elian gets a little bump up the hill from Perry. Great news for Perry, for Elian there. Oh, what's happened to Ben? Right, let's ride on board with Ben, because I thought that move was done and dusted, and then he ends up in the wall. Just go wide. They're making 2 little bits of contact there with Elian, who's still on his inside. And it looks like, oh, I need to see that again. I need to see, was there contact between these two? This wasn't reported, I don't think, actually. Yeah, Elian just completely murders Big Beaver. Oh, and he hits the rails as well. Damn. Oh, something bad's happened to Arpix side. Look how far behind he is as well. So let's do a little quick check. Perry goes wide, hands P9 to Peaky. All over the place there. Turbo Boy's up into P8 now. I think that's where he was anyway. So I think he's been overtaken by Gilles. He's worked his way up from last to P7 already. Zico's up into P5 as well. What have we missed? I think it might be worth... oh! Elliot's in the wall! I was going to say, we might have to rewind and see how Zico worked his way through the field so quickly. But we have seen a lot of incidents, and I think he's just benefited from that. And yeah, Elliot loses all his traction there and is in the wall. Lots and lots of incidents so far in this race. Half a second penalty there for Perry. But he is still in the top 10. I think the guys who were battling are all around each other now. Elian behind Ben, then Arpix a bit further up. Then Simon's at the back of this long train full of a lot of cars. He's probably going to get Perry now. Actually, he's quite far back. I don't think he will. No. Oh, look at this battle. Side by side between Turbo Boy and the dude. Peaky ready to capitalise on any mistakes there. Turbo Boy shoves dude into the grass a little bit. Turbo Boy up into 6th. Peaky already up into 7th now, so he's having a pretty decent go of it so far. We've got Gilles and Zico in the top 5 now. Kanata has given up his position to Tapos, and Tapos has got the fastest lap. His fastest lap is the same as his fastest lap in the whole of the sprint race, and we're only 3 laps in. And he's right behind Krilla now. really revving out this Vantage, trying to get every mile an hour available, every little bit of horsepower out, but Krilla's probably got enough right now. Let's see what's happening a bit further back. Peaky is under pressure from Andy Winters. The Genesis, he finished in the top 5 of the sprint. He'll be trying to make his way into P7 now. And there we go. That's going to open the door a little bit for the dude on the run down into turn 1. Or maybe in the final corner, he has got alongside. He's got onto the grass to make sure he doesn't collect Peaky, and that loses him a little bit of speed and allows Peaky to sweep back past into P8. And he's closing in on Turbo Boy. He's got a lot of pace. The Genesis is incredibly good around here. Actually, it's a very quick car for Atlanta with the focus on acceleration. He might be able to pick off Turbo Boy on the straight here. Turbo Boy opens the door, Andy's going through it. This might be done and dusted for Andy if he nails his braking. He brakes a lot later than Turbo Boy. Turbo Boy was potentially going to try for the switchback, but I think Andy nails the corner, and that is P6 for Andy, P5, P6 for the Gens. Oh, Peaky's battling with Perry. He's going to have to go defensive into turn 1. Simon has caught up to this group as well. Looks like we've got a change. Something happened to Kanata, I think. Oh no! I nearly missed. Oh, he just doesn't have the grip to make it round the corner, and that loses him a position to Zico. So Zico already into the podium positions, our championship leader. We said that he needs to kind of not be finishing in the podium to keep this title fight open. But he's already on course to extend it again, and Kanata doesn't get turn 1. He doesn't do it too well, and that just opens the door for Gilles. Gilles just gets past quite comfortably there. Kanata down into P5 now. What about Tapos? He's still very close to the back of Krilla here. Been lapping in the low 18s. Krilla's not been able to match that. He's actually fastest lap is half a second down on Tapos's, so he's costing Tapos at least half a second here. They still have quite a gap to Zico, but Zico is now the highest running medium tired car. These top two doing the alternate strategy of starting on the softs, trying to build a gap. No, nothing you can do there. It's happening a bit further back. Kanata's starting to get caught by Andy Winters now. So that'll be one to come back on. Turbo Boy putting the dude under a bit of pressure, and it looks like Peaky and Perry battling again. Great little battle between these two. Peaky's won every single time. Apart from in the last race, towards the end, Perry did get the better of him. Oh, Perry's got a great run, and he's actually fully through, and is Simon going to follow him? Yeah, he does. Oh, and he loses a bit of traction there. Manages to avoid going into the back of Simon by braking in time. Cars are very twitchy in the hands of Peaky. Simon looks like he's giving Perry a little bump draft. I think they just want to get away from the fighting and start hunting down the cars in front rather than focusing on fighting each other right now, which is a smart move. And what about Tapos at the front? He is challenging into turn 1. Oh, he just can't find a way around Krilla right now. Remember, this is the part of the track that Tapos is the quickest in. He's having to kind of glide into this corner to avoid hitting Krilla with the speed that he's got. But he's still glued to the back of him. He could try a little dive into these right-handers. I think he thought about it and then backed out and then lost a little. There was a little gap that opened between him and Krilla. And now we're onto the back straight where Krilla should be fairly safe. Although it looks like he's getting caught a little bit here. See, the gap is definitely reducing. Tapos might get lead of the race. He's got the inside for the corner. He's going to have to be very brave on the brakes. And oh, they both make it through the first part and the second part. It is still Krill who has the lead. And just remember, they're losing a lot of precious time fighting each other here. If they're in the 19s, they are just both of them. And they've been battling the whole lap as well, so they're probably losing a second here. So this is great news for Zico and Shield behind. Zico is pretty close to them now. He's lapped 4/10 quicker than them in the previous lap. Now this could be another overtaking opportunity for Tapos. Krilla goes very wide there, and now he's trying to go defensive. He's got the inside line for this corner, Krilla. Still side by side. Tapos still has a nose in front, and he's got the position. And now Krilla's going to have to try and overtake him on the straight. Finally, Tapos has the lead of this race. Many laps of trying. Zico is pretty close behind now. And Tapos leaves the door open. Krilla's going to go down the inside. Oh, now Tapos has managed to hold it. And now Zico's come into the fight. Zico might get both of them. Oh my god, and he has. Absolutely amazing bit of racecraft there from Zico to go from P3 to P1 all in one go. And this is a great example of why he's leading this championship. And he's managed to get past Kanata recently. So Kanata looks like he didn't exit the chicane very well. Probably out of shape a little bit there. Now he's losing a bit of positions down to Andy. No one's coming to the pits yet. We are only 12 minutes into this feature race. And that's how long it took for Zico to work his way all the way to the front. Peaky's still in the top 10, but still under a lot of pressure from Simon, so this might be where the next little bit of action comes from. Simon did actually get ahead of him as well, so there must have been a little mistake because he's dropped off the back of Perry in front as well. Arthur side's finally starting to catch this pack that are just within the top 10. And Simon's starting to lose a bit of ground to Peaky now. Peaky's tyres are in much better shape. That BRZ is great on the tyres. And so this is the part of the race that you'd be expecting Peaky and Perry in the McLaren to start building a bit of a gap or catching the cars in front even. Turbo Boy's now just behind the dude. Kanata continues to fall backwards as well. Oh! Turbo Boy nearly lost it, but he saved it. But dude's driving away a little bit now. much going on in terms of battling. Unless Arpixad wants to have a little look at Simon. So we'll probably have another 5-ish laps before we see the first driver come into the pits. Undercut's pretty strong here, as is fuel saving. It can be a big thing at this track. Oh, Simon's caught right back up to Peaky now, because if you can fuel save, if you're stuck behind a slower driver and struggling to get past, that's probably better and quicker to do than trying to battle them every lap and both of you losing time and you using up all of your fuel. Then it gives you the opportunity, if you come in with a little bit more fuel than those around you, you come out ahead and can just start driving away that way. Easier said than done though. He's missed a move. Krilla's lost a position to Gilles. So Gilles caught up to the back of Krill here. Gilles thought about a move, but he didn't go for it. Krilla lost a bit of traction and Gilles just takes P3 fairly comfortably there. He's going to be under pressure a little bit on the straight. So Gilles and Zico very much in a league of their own in terms of pace around here, because the way that they're overtaking on all parts of the track as well, and then just driving off from the drivers behind. I think this is demonstrating that the softs on Krilla are pretty much gone. I think he's going to come into the pits now. Let's see what his pit entry's like. Pretty dodgy. Oh, he hasn't got over the line though, at least, so it's not going to cost him 3 seconds. Yeah, that is, I would give that pit entry a 3 out of 10. That was pretty shocking. And you've got to bear in mind that that's going to give everyone else a chance to overcut him, essentially. I'd be surprised if he comes out close to Gilles. LE in all the way at the back, so we've missed maybe 1 or 2 incidents that dropped him right to the back. I think Big Beaver's already left the lobby. A bit naughty. But it just means more points for everyone else just for finishing the race, as both Arpix and Simon go a little bit wide there. Let's see if either of them get a penalty. If you lift, you don't get a penalty. If you lift only a tiny bit, you get maybe 0.5, which is what Simon got. If you don't lift at all, I think it's like 2 seconds that it gives you. So Arpak's going to move into the top 10 courtesy of that penalty. And there we go, P10 for Arpax, goes right through Simon, and now he can focus on chasing down Peaky ahead of him. Tapos has come into the pits as well. Let's just rewind, I want to see some of these pit entrances. Keeps it on the road. Oh. Give that one a 6 out of 10. I don't know what happened, but I don't think that was optimal, but it's probably going to be faster than a lot of these guys. So our 2 soft runners came in plenty early compared to how long the medium runners are going to last. So let's see, any battles going on. Kanata is pretty close to the dude still, so he's actually kept up with some of these top guys. Actually, I think dudes overtook him and I missed that move. Never mind. Turboboy's not too far behind him either. I think we're going to see a move this time though. Oh, I don't know what Turboboy was thinking there. It looks like Kanata brakes incredibly late. I don't think he was going for a move. That ended up in the steward's room. and Kanata did just gift Turbo Boy 2 positions there, but nothing too major happened, and that's going to let Perry catch up to them a little bit actually as well. So this could be a gift for Perry, who could overtake all three of these cars in the pits with his superior tank that's on the McLaren. I don't know if you're going to take sector 1 like that though. See a little bit further down. So we've got Tapos in P12. You can see it's quite a big gap between him and Krilla. Tapos does have the luxury of being able to put in some really solid laps on these fresh tyres before everyone else comes into the pits, so he could potentially retake the lead if he gets this right. It's 0.3 off his fastest, which is pretty good considering his fastest was on a softer compound. And you went to distant third compared to the top two now. He's dropped off a lot here. Let's see. His last lap was a 21.8 compared to an 18.9 for Gilles. Turbo Boy in the pits now. Let's have a look at his entry. Very cautious. It's a 5 out of 10 pit entry. Kanata's also in the pits. So let's follow on board with Krilla, because he was ahead of Turbo Boy and Kanata. Had a bit of a issue coming into the pits though, and those two didn't. Also has more fuel on board than what Turbo Boy put in. And you can hear the Mazda as he rejoins just behind Krilla. Krilla's on the softs as well, so he's gonna have to pit again. And Kanata is got a 6-second penalty. Oh, I remember it. So if you're on YouTube, go and watch the video Viking posted. Kanata cut the entry and the exit. He's put together a little montage of all of the pit entries across the 5 tiers. See, Turbo Boy can challenge Krilla. Turbo Boy pit really early for softs there. Considering it's a 30 lap race, that's half the race on soft tyres. I guess some FR cars can do it. Turbo Boy gets P11 from Krilla there, and that is probably P4 after everyone pits. I would hazard a guess. Oh, Peaky's got a second penalty. Perry's charging the dude now. He's caught up to this pack pretty quickly. I think these two were at a party together on Monday, so I think they were probably warning each other not to do anything stupid. Shield comes into the pits now from P2. Be interested to see if he comes out in traffic or not. Oh, actually they've all come into the pits. Pretty good pit entries for Andy the dude, not so good for Perry, but it didn't look like he lost too much time. So Zico is the only one who is still out. And Simon on those mediums as well. Not feeling confident on the tyre life on the softs. So let's ride on board with Tapos and see if any of these people have managed to jump him. Expecting Gilles to come out in front. Tapos all on his own here. Oh, Shields lost a lot of time to Tapos. Tapos might actually get him into this next corner. Oh, I don't think Shields saw him. It was a bit rough there, but Shields got that position for now, and he's probably going to be able to drive away from Tapos there. Turbo Boys managed to stay 5th. Thriller 6th. Dude's come out in 7th. Perry's quite a distant 8th there. Put in a lot of fuel as well. He probably didn't calculate his fuel before the race. Arpaksad's up into P9 now. P10, sorry, just behind Andy Winters. And then Peaky's dropped out of the top 10 in that pit sequence. As has Kanata, because he had the 6-second penalty. So he's dropped right down. So he's the big loser of the pit sequence. This is going to be moved by Andy on Perry. Simon comes into the pit. Zico carrying on again for one more lap. Looks like Andy's fully ahead, but Perry might try a little move down the inside here into the corner. No, he tucks in behind Andy into the chicane. That's P8 for Andy. Got a little bit more work to do to get back through the field. Make that P7, because Simon's only coming out of the pit lane now. Is he going to stay in the top 10? It looks like Kanata and Peaky have got him. His lap before his pit was 22.2, so he made a mistake as well, and that is why he's in 12th. Still with the pack though, and with fresher tyres as well. Zico finally in the pits, but let's follow Perry for a little bit longer, because it looks like he's under pressure from Arpaksad again. He's going to try. That was not so good. And it looks like Arpaksad's going to get the move as well. There was a tiny bit of contact. I think Perry saw him just in time. Now it's a drag race down to the chicane. Perry's going to try and get the slipstream as well. Arpax goes defensive. Perry takes the corner much better as a result. He's got a little run now. Looks like Arpax just did enough to keep the position into the corner. Just not enough tarmac there for Perry to take advantage. Perry's sticking with him pretty well though. Again, that corner has been Perry's worst corner on the track in the sprint and in the feature, because it's allowed Arpaksad to just drive away from him. Strange though, I was catching drivers on the exit of that corner. I also do drive the McLaren. So I don't think it's a car issue, is what I'm trying to say. See what's going on a little bit further up. Turbo Boy's caught up to Tapos now. Tapos on the medium tyres, so he might lose this position fairly soon, unless he plants his car beautifully around the track. It doesn't allow Turbo Boy to get too close, but Turbo Boy's got very fresh soft tyres, so he could do it in the next couple of corners. Yeah, this is the only battle going on. I thought I could see cars battling, but I was seeing things. Here we go, he's got the run. And he's going to go for it, and he's managed to pull off the move very cleanly there. Looked quite easy in the end. Now, if I was Tapos, I would just try and stick to the back of Turbo Boy as much as possible. Get the benefit of his slipstream in the straights. To try and head off Krilla, but Krilla's going to have to pit again because he's on soft. He's put 2 sets of softs on. Don't know if that was a mistake or not, but he's going to have to pit again because they're not going to last until the end of the race. But even if they do, that's a huge penalty coming for Krilla if he doesn't put on 2 different tyre compounds. Not much battling going on down the field actually. Everyone's kind of created a bit of a gap. Let's join Zico and talk about him a little bit. So he's just set fastest lap 17.6. Oh, his is 17.6. Gilles' fastest lap is 17.4. So Gilles actually catching up by 2/10 there. He's finished in the podium positions almost every race this season. Apart from round 1, he had an absolute nightmare in round 1. Joined the league for the last race of last season and showed a lot of speed, but he made loads of mistakes which kind of continued in round 1. I think learning the league can take a little bit of time, but once he got to grips with that, he's been pretty much always on the podium, always on. He's never not been on the front row of the grid this season, and has an absolutely massive lead in the standings. So I think it's safe to say he's got a high likelihood of winning the championship, moving up to tier 1. Be interested to see how he would do against some of the incredibly fast guys that we've got in tier 1. I think he could comfortably be at the front of tier 1.5, but I reckon he could actually, especially if he's in the right car, challenge for podiums and wins, to be honest, in tier 1. It's the consistency as well. Yeah, that he's fast at every track and he doesn't put a foot wrong. The Lexus is one of the meta cars, you can call it. But even still, it's not insanely quick in a straight line, for example, which really helps you in this league. There we go, Krilla's pitted again, so we'll be putting on mediums. I'm going to assume that this was his strategy the whole time, to try and do a 2-stop race and to not worry about tyres. It's going to put him all the way down into 12th, a comfortable 12th. So he'll have the fastest car on the track probably, but will struggle to get past these guys, potentially. Avoids a penalty at least. There we go. Elliott's actually not too far behind him. Let's see any battling going on. Tapos hasn't lost too much ground. He's in the 19s, whereas the soft guys are in the 18s, so he's losing a little bit of time, but there's only 8 minutes left. The dude could potentially get him before the end of the race. Oh, we got a second penalty for Kanata, so that's going to drop him behind Peaky here. Oh, Peaky's actually had a penalty as well. So this means Simon might get 2 positions in 1, and he does. Meanwhile, these two battling into the corner. It's like Peaky's got that position off Kanata. So at least Peaky didn't lose a position there. Kanata down 2 and outside the top 10. Right on board with the dude. So the dude is going to come out of this race in P2 unless something really bad happens to him before the end of the race. I think he was leading the championship after the first. Oh no, he wasn't. He was right. He's been right up there in the top 2 all season though, and hasn't got a race win yet. So even if he's going to be second in the championship, he's not qualifying for the race of champions as it stands. Unless he wins one of the last 4 races we've got. the GR Super is one of those cars where you can short shift. So I think that you go up a gear around about 75%. Look at the dude, he's not revving out the car, so that's good for fuel saving at least. Not got the best tyres. Really good at circuits like this, Interlagos as well. Putting some really quick times. His fastest lap's in 18 flat though, which is 9/10 slower than what Zico has managed to do. But I think that goes to show what a consistent season he's having, because he's the nearest challenger despite having that pace disadvantage, at least on this track. Tapos was 7/10 slower than him that lap as well. Actually lapping the same as Turbo Boy, but Turbo Boy's just cruising at the moment probably. Jim is keeping Zico honest, although his lap before that was a second slower than what Zico did. Now they're lapping the same pace, a second quicker than Turbo Boy. The dude only closed him by 4/10 on that lap, so he needs to be doing a little bit more. Lost half a second compared to his previous one. So 5 minutes left of the feature race. Arfak's closing in on Andy now as well. Andy's soft tyres are completely gone. I don't know how he's going to get to the end of the race. I think that's 3 more laps to do on pretty much dead front left, and Arfak's tyres are doing pretty good here as well. Arfak's definitely has improved his racecraft this season. So he started the season with race ban for accumulating a number of penalty points. I don't think he's got another one though since this season, so he'll be pretty low in terms of how many penalty points he got by the end of the season if he carries that on. This is his second season in the Mazda as well, so he drove it last season in Tier 3, won a lot of races, got a lot of pole positions and fastest laps as well. I think he's got 1 podium so far this season, so not a bad start for the, starting out in the second highest tier. I think this has definitely been our most competitive Tier 2 that we've ever had as well. I think every season Tier 2 just gets a little bit closer in pace to Tier 1. He's closing in with every corner pretty much. Now, they both got around that corner pretty well there. I don't think Andy's going to be able to, Arfax is going to be able to do anything this time around. Let's have a quick look at the drivers in front. Oh, I thought they were a bit closer than that. Excuse me. Oh, much better exit there from Arfax. He's going to have a run down this sweeping section down the hill onto the right. He's got the slipstream, he's got the speed, and he's already going defensive into turn 1. And they avoid contact. Andy keeps the position, goes a bit wide on the exit there, but keeps the speed. This is going to be difficult for Andy now because he doesn't have the grip that he used to. His tyres completely dead on the front left. Might struggle a lot with this double left-hander coming up as well if Arfax can get alongside or get him out of position. Andy brakes a lot earlier there and he doesn't hit the apex. this is perfect for Arfax. Gets P6 from Andy quite comfortably there. Now is he going to be able to drive away before the chicane? Arfax defends and keeps it, hits the apex beautifully there. I think that's going to be Andy's, it's going to be over for Andy in terms of P6. He's going to have to, well actually Perry's tyres are pretty dead as well here. So he might be able to defend from Perry, as long as he sticks to the racing line, he should be fine. We are on the final lap, by the way. So everyone's actually going to do the final lap by the looks of it. Yep, Kanata and Krilla both across the line there. So let's follow on board with Zico. He's lapped solidly in the 17s and the 18s for the whole entire stint. He's got a completely dead front left, but it's not really stopped his insane pace around here. He's going to get another win. He's going to extend his championship lead once again over the dude who's only in 5th place. Congratulations, Zico on P1. Gilles going to cross the line in P2. Then quite a gap down to Turbo Boy. He's going to get P3. And then Tapos is going to fend off the dude. Oh no, he doesn't. He loses it on the line. What happened? Right, let's ride on board with the dude. So Tapos had P4 in the bag here. He's out of fuel. He's out of fuel. And the dude crosses the line off the track, gets P4, Tapos P5. Nice little bonus there for the dude to get a couple of extra points there. Arby's had P6. Andy went at 7th. Perry just did enough for 8th. Simon recovered to 9th. He gets another top 10. We have Kanata a little way back in 11th, also out of fuel. Ian, miserable day for him, P12. Krilla was right behind him in 13th. So let's see what that does to the standings. Pre-stewards. So that gives Zico a 62-point lead. So if you have a 44-point lead at the end of next race, then you've won the championship. Because the maximum you could score is 43 in one night. So 18 points he needs to get next week, which is the equivalent of, oh, I don't know, off the top of my head. It's not many. He just needs to basically race in the midfield, maybe top 8, and then he'll win the championship next week. The dude is in P2, 62 points behind, and then 2 points behind him is Gilles, and 2 points behind him is DB Elite. So that's going to be a really interesting battle for P2 for the last few rounds of the season. Could go anyway. And then 9 points behind them, Turbo Boy and Perry in 5th and 6th there. So all of them pretty close together. Then there's a bit of a gap, 15 points back to Big Beaver, who we saw DNF there, and Ian, who had a bit of a miserable one. Then in the constructors, Lexus have a huge lead. Again, they could win the championship at the end, well, at next week's race, the Lexus in the constructors. They've got 328, and then second place on 199 is the Mazdas, and then the Gen X team and the Supras are just a few points behind on 186 and 185. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and join me next week when we might be